Um, yeah, I'll sing the song later.
Tiago, we did the claps. We have to go.
All right, fine, fuck it. Context for this song. I was like walking my dog Sunday morning, 9 a.m. because we were supposed to originally record Sunday morning, 10 a.m. But that didn't go through. So this, like, I was walking my dog and I like just started singing to myself, and the song was like, Ace Attorney, Ace Attorney, Miles Edgeworth, Ace Attorney, Ace Attorney. Miles Edgeworth, investigation, Ace Attorney, Miles Edgeworth, investigations.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there, Internet. Welcome to Updated Autopsy Report, a podcast from Yotsubin and Friends where we replay the entire Ace Attorney series with longtime fans and newcomers. I'm your host, Ben, and with me today is Dessy.
Hello.
And two good friends of ours, Tiago.
Yeah.
And Rose.
Hi.
The fucking...
Dessy...
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Dessy and I are the longtime fans, and Rose and Tiago are the newcomers. We hope that through both of our perspectives, as we play through the series, it'll reveal new details and provide interesting commentary for a series that's near and dear to us. Today, we have all played the third case of Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, The Kidnapped Turnabout.
I just wanted to say Tiago singing the dancing cockroach popped in my head.
I
With
just
dulcet tones.
I dropped I just dropped a stick of deodorant onto my keyboard, so I'll mute that later.
We gotta start
It'll
the
be fine.
recording all over again.
We'll start the recording all the way over again. Dancing. You're gonna have to send me the dancing cockroach. Yes.
On it.
Oh, you're doing it right now? Okay, yeah, sure.
You guys.
Here
Just keep going.
is the summary for the case today. If you can tell, we are all a little rammy because we haven't recorded for a while. We've had a longer gap between recordings than normal, just due to life stuff. So we're all itching to get back in the old podcast chair.
AKA computer seat.
Here is the case summary for The Kidnapped Turnabout, set in the day before Miles returns to his office to find a body. The prosecutor has been contacted by a wealthy, quote-unquote, friend named Ernest Armano, whose son Lance has been kidnapped. Edgeworth is cajoled into delivering the ransom money to the kidnappers at Gatewater Amusement Park Haunted House, but is knocked out and left tied up inside. He's rescued by the new plucky teenage sidekick for this game, Kay Faraday, who also claims to be the great Yatagarasu. Together they escape the room and get out into the larger park, encountering the Interpol agent now handling this case, Shilong Lang, and his assistant, Shi Na. With much consternation and back and forth with Lang, Edgeworth and Kay investigate the crime, eventually finding the dead body of Oliver Deacon, the family butler. Edgeworth, having a lot of experience with messed up families, realizes that this family has got its share of issues too. He and Kay continue to unravel what is revealed to be a faux kidnapping plot for money, deal with Ernest defending his son with wads of cash, and the worst game of musical mascot outfits ever devised. Oh, and you get tons of cameos from past characters along the way here too. It all ends with Kay's virtual rendering of the haunted house attraction in which Edgeworth proves Lance murdered Oliver, thanks to all the trick mirrors and everyone's favorite contradiction, left-handed murderers versus right-handed murderers. So,
Ace Attorney loves her old left hand, right hand, and it's really difficult when you have a hard time telling your left from right.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later.
It's an easy one to default to, I'll tell you that. So yeah, this is the third case in the game, yet it is still set before case 1. We have not had a single case that has progressed time forward. Every single one has been somehow in the time prior to case 1. And yeah, it's just very funny to me.
So at the beginning of this case, the current timeline is case 2, case 3, case 1.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. This is literally the day before case 1.
Dude, explains how Miles was really tired in case 1.
Yeah.
Miles
That boy
Edgeworth
has anxiety.
got hit in the head with a blunt object and didn't lose all his memories.
Damn, he's just built different.
I guess he is.
Mm-hmm. So Miles is called by Ernest Armano, who is, I guess, just like a rich guy.
A rich friend of his previous mentor, Manfred von Karma.
There you go.
Somebody
the
did
implications of some of these conversations are wild. Like he's like, oh, so this guy Miles is like, oh, I'll do anything to help you. You know, you helped me out so much. You introduced me to, you allowed me to study abroad at that foreign law firm.
Right.
And this guy is like, oh yes, I think of Manfred like he was like my own son. And it's like, wait, so you took this an 8-year-old boy and you shipped him off to live with the guy who murdered his father? That was your idea. You were the guy who did that. And he was like, oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. This guy? I don't know.
No, Manfred took that to his well, I was gonna say his grave, but he took it to the courtroom.
Saying, I don't look at that man and think this is a great environment to raise a child. A child horrifically traumatized.
He had a daughter. There's a child there already.
Yeah, and she's doing great.
God.
Yeah. So Armano calls Miles up and is like, can you do this handoff for me? My son has been kidnapped. And at this point, I know we kind of covered this already in the summary. At this point, he does not seem to actually be aware that this is a fake kidnapping. At this time, he thinks his son has actually been kidnapped.
Because his son has been kidnapped.
And so Lance has disappeared. He's at this park, apparently, as the meeting place. And they tell Edgeworth to go into this haunted house attraction. And you get a fun, over-the-top little animation at the start of the game in which a creepy blue badger sneaks up behind Edgeworth and conks him on the back of the head, knocking him out.
Bonk.
And taking the ransom money.
Low-key sick.
Did you all enjoy this? Do you like your Mickey Mouse replacements with all these blue badger outfits?
I hate them, but
yes,
it works.
I like it.
All right, so pro on the Tiago side, anti blue badger on Rose's side.
I think the classic aesthetic of like cartoon mask character turning out to be a murderer is a very good like thing. If I recall correctly, there's a boss in No More Heroes 2 that is like a mascot character who also wields a chainsaw and is a ghost. So I like killer and mascots too.
This is why you can't trust mascots. Down with all mascot characters.
The blue badger has been something that's kind of been hanging around for a while, but I don't think we've talked about its inspiration, which is the Tokyo Police mascot, Pipo-kun. I'm putting this in the Discord chat for us, but I will try to link this in the show notes.
Interesting.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's
see
just
it.
him, huh?
You can instantly see how close it is with the little antenna thing. It's got this blue antenna with the little yellow like circle on top, which is almost exactly like what the blue badger has 3 of on his head. So, and he's got the little sash and everything.
This thing disgusts me.
But yeah, so there's
it's a cop mascot. It should.
Blue badger's cuter.
There's the proto badger, which was the early original blue badger design. Then there's the blue badger, right? Mm-hmm. Then there's the pink badger,
girl badger,
which the game points at. Yeah, please note her cute pink bow. And then the bad badger, who's evil
and wears a big belly warmer.
Dude, I wish I had a belly warmer.
And he's got gun sewed into his hand.
You can buy them online, Tiago.
Yo, send me a link. This case, like, you start off by making the handout thing, you get knocked over the head, and then you're in like a locked room, like a zero escape game.
Miles gets kidnapped and handcuffed to something again. This game may have an ulterior motive.
You know what? This actually does explain a lot of Miles fan art that I saw earlier in my life.
Okay.
So you get saved by a teenager who breaks in through the window. This teenager, Kay Faraday, claims to be the Yatagarasu. Her hobbies are stealing, making jokes, and
Mhm.
loving justice, truth specifically,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay,
She
Can
her design's
Mhm.
kind of cute, but she seems a little flat.
I mean, I can't wait for her to reveal that like her entire family was actually gunned down by Manfred von Karma or
I
something.
mean, literally spoilers for the end of this case, but she's like, "Oh, Miles and Detective Gumshoe, we've already met," and then it's like, "Woo!"
I
So,
was gonna talk about that later.
It's fine.
so that kind of is gonna happen.
If you're here,
right?
it's open spoiler season. Yeah.
That's true.
I was gonna
So-
say you've made it to the podcast, so
I'm just saying that
Yeah.
like because of the next case, the timeline's going to be case 4, then case 2, then case 3, then case 1.
let me go
Yeah,
forward
literally.
in time.
We've never gone forward in time at all.
This is some real
So
fucking
funny.
butterfly effect with Ashton Kutcher shit. Kay Faraday is cool. I like her hairstyle is the only thing that I'm not like keen about, but whatever.
I have
She's
a
got a ninja scarf. What's up?
I have another complaint, and actually, this complaint isn't about her. It's about Miles. So the sprite placement in the scene where she and Miles first meet, he is on the right side of the screen,
Yes.
and she is on the left side of the screen. But when you go into like talking mode, their portraits
Oh.
flip because apparently Miles can only be facing in one direction.
I think it has to do with the fact that it's kind of like a game design thing where you're reading from your character's point of view, which just feels more comfortable on the left side of the screen versus who you're talking to, who ends up being on the right side of the screen.
But if my guy is on the right side of the screen,
Oh, I agree
and
with
then
you.
like literally, I was so annoyed that whole scene. I was just like, "Ugh." And later
I know.
I thought it was her. I thought she was the problem, and then I realized later that she actually can appear on the right side of the screen. So it's Miles. Miles was the problem. So jot that down, everybody. I found a fault with Miles.
Yeah, Miles chose to spawn only on the left.
Yeah,
on the left side of the screen.
I'm sorry. That's just you gotta keep it consistent. If he's on the right, he needs to be on the right.
Okay.
Fix your game.
This.
This 2009 game.
Yeah. Go back in time
Well,
and fix it.
This room, it doesn't have too much going on with it, so I think we can safely skip past most of this like escape room stuff. But
Oh,
you
yeah.
get a few brief setups for later stuff where you can see the other room that supposedly Lance was being held in. So you can get a little bit of a taste of the layout of that room. And then you also get a setup for the Blue Badger costumes.
Yeah.
So you see all of the costumes in storage there, and you see how many of them are missing, which is, again, going to be important for later in the case as you try to piece together where the 3 kidnappers went and which outfits they were wearing and that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
This
If
is a
my
total
understanding
years
is
later.
correct, there's a total of 8 outfits, 2 of each. But
Correct.
But then they also introduced the rule that is like only one badger can be seen at any time in the park because it's a photo rally and you're supposed to get all the pictures.
Right.
So you break out. You're in the Wild West. Is this where you meet the new detective?
Yep, everybody
Oh,
shows up here
Miles,
after you get out.
Miles does slide down the like drain
little
pipe
pole.
like a
Yeah.
little fire pole, and that was possibly one of the greatest animations that I've seen so far. No,
There's a surprisingly amount of
explanation.
unique animations
Yeah.
for this game, so it's always fun whenever they pop up.
it made me
Um,
cackle.
So yeah, as you pop out and you and Kay start to make your way around the Wild West section of the park, you encounter Shilong Lang, who is the Interpol agent who's been kind of assigned to this, and he's like, "Hey, this is my beat now. You don't have any control here. You got involved in this without consulting the police at all." And Edgeworth is like, "Well, you're kind of right. I only talked to Gumshoe about it," which is kind of funny. And so Gumshoe, unfortunately, is now under Lang's purview. So he orders him around, which it kind of gets Gumshoe away from Edgeworth for a bit here and leaves you with Kay. as your assistant for most of this case.
I like Lang as a character. He's
Visually?
well, actually, let me finish.
Oh, well, I'm on the
Lang-
visual boat.
So Lang's like whole thing is that he's like a mad dog, right? He's like a wolf. People like even call him like, oh, call him that wolf down. And he's like a wolf, he's wolf themed.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got a dragon on his jacket. What's up with that? Pick an animal. You should have a wolf on your jacket.
I think that's supposed to be like traditional style from where he's from.
I guess, but then why not call him the dragon? Why call him?
I don't know. I felt that we were potentially straying into some stereotype territory, but
Shilong Lang likes to pull out scrolls and he quotes his ancestor. None of it's like egregious so far. Honestly, I think it's interesting that like he pulls out a quote and it's some shit like arrest the first person you see on sight.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's saved a little
funny.
in the fact that he's the fucking cop. He just sucks. He's a shitty cop.
His whole thing is that like as soon as he gets the minute amount of evidence, he arrests like anybody. And he's like, the prosecutor, Miles Edgeworth, is like, don't you want to find out the truth? And he's like, that's up for you book jockeys in the courtrooms, you bastards. And he's like, okay, so he hates prosecutors. And then he has like a silent assistant who's like just a hot lady.
Who's clearly the person actually doing everything, as Miles notes like several times. He's like, wow, she's the one with all the information. He just reads whatever
she's
she
always
hands
bringing
him.
over the evidence and the scrolls and all that stuff.
I think my only gripe about Lang is that like he doesn't physically look like a werewolf except for his hair, and I'm like, come on, man, commit to the fucking bit. Like, don't baby out now.
I think
other
he
than
should
that,
be a giant werewolf. I think you're right.
What about his X sunglasses?
his X sunglasses are very good.
Okay.
He like shows up with sunglasses and like an X across his forehead, and it's supposed to look like a scar, but it turns out the X is just
it like goes
part
over
of the
his
glasses.
ears like a regular pair of sunglasses, and then up over his forehead.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, who the fuck? What the fuck, man?
They almost look normal, and then he takes them off, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Lang is your antagonistic whatever. He's in the way. And Gumshoe's taken away. We meet Meekins again. He gets accused of murder. Lang arrests him.
That's our first character that we meet who gets accused of the murder, because you walk 10 feet down through Wild West Land and open up the first garage you see, and there's a dead body inside of it.
There sure fucking is.
And Meekins is standing right next to it, and he's like, whoopsie, I've lost my gun. Don't know what happened to that. I definitely didn't murder this guy, I swear to God. And Lang kind of goes, oh, I'm going to arrest you for murder.
Yeah, you did it, idiot.
Did everybody enjoy seeing Meekins again?
Not particularly, no.
I like Meekins. He's my way through helplessness.
Yeah. I didn't quite enjoy his appearance as much as in Game 4, but...
Are you saying, Tiago, you like him through his meekness?
Well, I don't know if I describe him as meek, because he's always
That's
yelling.
his fucking name, dude!
I know, listen, there's such thing as a misnomer. Check out the second book of
not an Ace
Lemony
Attorney, there
Snicket's A
isn't.
Series of Unfortunate Events.
No thanks.
I
had depression. I didn't read those books. It would have made it worse.
They're pretty good books, actually.
They're pretty
I
good books,
them.
actually. Yeah, they're good books. Anyway, yeah, Meekins shows up, he gets arrested, and then Miles Edgeworth is like, I'll defend Meekins with my life. And I'm like, okay, dude, sure.
He does have a line where he's like, actually, I don't give a shit about Meekins, but I care about the truth now.
Yeah, he's like committed to solving this just because, like...
Thanks, Phoenix, for your help.
Yeah.
And one thing to establish here is that Meekins is in the Blue Badger outfit, the standard Blue Badger outfit here.
Yes.
So he is the one who has the standard Blue Badger outfit on currently in the park. He's the one right now.
The one.
Exactly.
who's out there greeting kids. And he even admits that he wasn't even supposed to be doing, like, meeting people and greeting park goers. He was actually supposed to be investigating, but then he just got carried away while he was in the costume.
Honestly, he should just be a mascot guy in a suit. That'd probably be a better career for him.
It seems like he's
It
good at
probably
it,
would be.
actually. So,
He was really good
go
at
nuts,
it.
kid.
All he wants to do is make kids happy.
Make the kid...
So yeah, the body that we find in there is Oliver, who is the family butler. So Ernest Amano is there, and he's like, "Oh my God, that's the butler! Why is he here?"
My butler.
And
No.
we
No,
then
clean my
immediately
shit.
like reveal that that is not actually like the butler has it's his alter ego, and he is actually Colin Devore, I believe is how you say his name. And he was kind of going under this alias to hide after he got out of prison.
He broke out of prison with a gun.
Yeah.
Um,
So he escaped from prison. And so this is going to obviously be crucial to the rest of this case.
I can't believe we figured this out just by examining the body.
Yeah, just immediately finding a document on him that has a different name.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Colin Devereux. He has a horse necklace with his name on the back of it.
His
Shot
only form
in
of
This
the
is
blue
life
bag.
so
fucking
Ace
sterling
Attorney,
silver
though.
horse.
Oh, absolutely. The fact that his name is like an anagram of his other name is very good.
Right.
Is this where we get introduced to
Lauren
Pops?
Yeah, Lauren Pops is also here. So she also is here. She's freaking out because she's like, "Oh, my dear Lance, my poor Lance has been kidnapped." And you realize that she is the girlfriend of Lance Amano, and she's here as well. We got a lot of NPCs already.
Yeah,
and you're on the
and
second screen of the game.
My bullet journal is stuffed full of evidence. Like, there's so many items. I don't know how he's carrying them all.
That's why Kay's there.
Yeah.
Lauren Potts.
How does Link carry all his items in every Zelda game?
He's got the
It's
ocarina.
a mystery.
So Lauren. Her character.
Well, what are you thinking about Lauren?
Her character archetype is that she falls in love with any man that she sets her like eyes on. So like she fell in love with Lance, and then like Miles says, "I won't let you get arrested," and then she goes, "Oh, I love you," and then she has like a ring pop that she constantly is licking, and that's why she's called Pops.
Lollipops.
Lollipops, yeah. I mean, she's like I don't know. I'm not entranced by this character at all.
Another kind of like, there's this very specific quality that I struggle to describe personally, but that certain like female anime characters have that and it's not a personality quality. This is purely like a physical appearance. Like, it's something about the way their eyes look that I don't know, bothers me. She has it. Kay has it. I don't know what it is. I'll have to go further into my mind palace and figure out
Your anime lore.
Yeah, it's just something about the angle of the eyes that like doesn't match up with the mouth or the nose that like, I don't know. Anyways.
Something about the facial structure, the way it's drawn.
Yeah,
you're saying?
because like, it's fine to have like a goofy facial structure. It's cartoons. Let's do it. But I don't know. Every now and then I see it and I'm like, this isn't quite like the delightful like strange eye like 90s girl anime that I desire. But it's something a little bit off from that. The uncanny valley.
I just think she's low key mid. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that was just a
her
complicated way of me saying I also think she's kind of mid.
I mean, she doesn't get a lot of characterization aside from she's kind of naive, and you realize eventually that she's been looped up in this kidnapping plot along with everybody else. And is the naivete just a front, or is she just naive enough to get swooped up in all this with everybody and just kind of goes along with it and doesn't know what to do now that she's, stuck in the middle of this kind of plan. But yeah, she doesn't get much to do aside from, oh no, where's Lance? Oh no, I think I killed somebody. Oh no, I didn't. Okay.
Oh, thank God I didn't.
I'll get over the big reveal, obviously, everybody. Here we go. Oliver, aka Colin, is actually her father. He's been hiding in plain sight near her, and so she then realizes that he was her father, and then also that, he was the one was murdered. So my father, I just learned about, is now dead.
Yeah.
And she gets over that very quickly.
She really does. She
it's like
recovers
instant.
so fast.
So like after we meet Lauren for the first time is when we like learn that there is a witness over by the auditorium, and we go over there, and there's two people that we meet at the auditorium. One who I pogged at, and one who I didn't.
Okay.
I'm
so
so excited to hear which is which because I legitimately don't know.
The first character that you run into is Emma Skye, and I pogged.
Okay.
I was like, oh my god, that's my friend Emma. And the other one is a person in the pink badger suit, and then she reveals herself, and it's Wendy Oldbeck.
I had the opposite reaction to Tiago. I saw Emma and I was like, give me item, please, Emma. And then she didn't, by the way. She doesn't give me a cool item, but I do like her design, and I liked her characterization in her like one scene.
I know, she gets basically one scene.
And
she actually gets a fucking character in this game, as opposed to Polly
preferred
Justice.
it over the late unpleasantness. But Wendy, she's back.
Wendy's here. So
yes, you've got these two women here. You've got Emma, and Emma's very funny because her line for why she's here is like, oh, I'm here just like on a short trip. I was studying overseas, but I'm here just for a bit because I heard you were back, so I wanted to be back here too.
It's spring break.
Okay.
Yeah,
great. I'm glad you're here for spring break, I guess. And Wendy's like, I've been working here.
This is where I work.
She's like, I've been working here. So this is what I do now. So as usual with Wendy, she's got testimony, and it's really, really exaggerated. She barely saw anything, but she claims she saw every detail, and you gotta break those details down to find out what she actually saw and what's actually useful to you. Emma does help you out with luminol spray, but you don't get to do it yourself. You just say, hey, can we check this? And Emma goes, okay, I'm going to do it. And then the game like fades to black and then fades back up, and then she's sprayed it for you already.
Only Phoenix gets to spray the luminol.
It wasn't even Phoenix. It was fucking... oh yeah, Phoenix does. Apollo gets it too, but that's a whole different thing.
No,
defense attorneys only.
Defense attorneys only.
He doesn't let her spray. She doesn't let him spray the luminol because that's the one where you have the like piece of carpet, right? And
didn't you spray
I
luminol
wanted to
somewhere else?
They cut out the piece of carpet and bring it in and spray it with luminol in court, and they don't let me do it.
Yeah, they do it for you
bitter.
in that segment.
Is there no luminol usage in Apollo Justice? I feel like there was.
I believe there is earlier. It's been a while now already.
Yeah.
We just did it, and I'm already forgetting.
It was slightly different when they used the stuff to find the footprints, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
nonetheless,
all that to say, she doesn't let you do it.
So, Wendy,
this is my
you gotta dissect
defense
her
attorney.
testimony to realize that she didn't see a goddamn thing. She saw some shit in a different way, and then fucking Kay pulls out her, like, portable fucking Star Trek hologram room and just creates the scene.
Yeah, she sure does, doesn't she?
With the fucking holodeck in her pocket.
Yeah, she's like, do you want to enter into my mind palace, my VR hollow room, essentially?
I'm not sure about the hollow room. I'm gonna come right out and say it. I don't know about this, fellas.
I like the hollow room because it's nice to visualize.
Yeah, it
what
does give
we're
you
all
visuals
doing.
when there's a lot going on.
We need the visuals. We need the visual because, like, I need to know what angle people are shot at, who shot who, who's in what suit, who's on third. I need to know all this stuff,
Mhm.
and it's
Yeah.
easier to understand visually. What's up?
And what's on first?
Exactly. So, two Badgers. I believe it was Bad Badger and Proto Bad. I can't even fucking remember. Who cares?
Pink Badger.
It was Pink
Right.
Badger who shot. Well, no, she's in the Pink Badger suit. Oh yeah, it was Pink Badger. Fuck, god damn it! Now I'm getting confused.
I
Just
know.
like I want to.
Like I said, it's the worst thing of musical mascot suits ever.
Oh, we
because
struggled.
you're trying to keep these suits straight in your head, and we are probably going to make a mistake at some point
So-
recounting it during this case.
So,
But-
for in this instance, who was in the suits was the one of them was the Lauren Lolly Pops, and the other one was Oliver Deacon, but that's in like quotation marks.
Right.
Because everyone's wearing a fucking mask. You leave because like you're done with Old Bag, and Emma did her one job. Then you go find the others. God damn it, Lance shows up all of a fucking sudden, and he looks
Oh,
like a
yeah,
got
bodhisattva.
free.
Right as you were about to like resolve this, because the main contradiction that you're trying to figure out here with this like hologram that Kay is setting up is Colin's body was shot at an angle, as if he was shot from the low ground.
Mm-hmm.
At an angle. Bullet came in through his midsection, entered out through his shoulder, right? So you are trying to arrange the Badgers that Wendy Oldbag saw in the right way to make this bullet trajectory line up and also make the testimony line up correctly and figure out who was the aggressor in this situation. And as you resolve this, then yes, Lance also just walks from left stage onto the area where you are, and he just goes, oh, and collapses right in front of you. And everybody's like, oh, Lance, how'd you escape? Blah, blah, blah. And everybody rushes over to him, and then you get your little mid-case break.
This case was long. I feel like I did so many fucking things in this case. I feel like I ran a goddamn marathon. Yeah, Lance. He looks like so his dad is like
He
Is his
looks
dad-
like that.
he looks like a bodhisattva. That's what I thought of, but like with a shittier haircut.
What?
Yeah, because of the long earlobes, right? He's supposed to be like a Buddha-esque. Am I correct?
I don't know.
Kind of like, oh, rub my belly for good fortune kind of thing.
Yeah, because
I
like his
think I just
dad,
got-
like,
Not Buddha, but the like I think it's called like the Laughing Man or something.
yeah,
Maybe I just got distracted
Apologize if
by
I'm
his
getting that wrong,
outfit.
but I know it's not Buddha.
and then like
His
his dad
outfit's
is
very
also
goofy,
very
too.
money themed. His outfit is very good.
And yeah, so Ernest, also at this time, then he's like, oh, thank you for finding my son. By the way, here's a love letter for my son. Could you just go give that to him? And you're like, okay. And you look at it, and it's clearly, it's clearly not a love letter.
It's a fucking death threat
Yeah, it's saying that he owes money to Tender Lender.
from
Oh,
Viola.
there's another reference.
Viola!
I did pause when I
Yeah.
saw Viola's name. I thought she was gonna show up. Yeah, this particular case is jam packed with a lot of previous NPCs, which I kind of like because it implies that like all the other NPCs also have their own shit going on. Like it fleshes out the world by having them have repeated instances. Anyway, fuck Lance.
Yeah. At this point, then, is also when you do the stuff where you sneak into the other room where the kidnappers were, and you do little things like, oh, I see that there's 3 cups of coffee here for the kidnappers, and you see the broken prop sword, which was used to jam the door, that kind of stuff. So you're establishing a bunch of pieces of evidence that you're going to use later to start to break apart everybody's testimony when that time comes. Then Gumshoe rushes over to you and says, hey, guess what? We found the Blue Badger costume. near the front of the park. So you run out, and this was supposedly the duplicate blue badger that Meekins saw. And in there you find the necklace from which has Lauren's name on it and matches up with Colin's.
It creates a
So now you-
Pegasus. It's a
Yep.
she's got
You got
wings,
the-
he's got horse.
And this is how you can prove that they were related, finally.
So this is the part of
And-
the case that killed me.
And so here's the thing. I found this bit a little funny. You are standing on essentially the bridge in front of Cinderella's castle in Disneyland, right? That's kind of what this is. It's like the bridge leading up to the main center area of the park. So everybody's just kind of hanging out. It's not even like a room or anything. You're just like standing in the middle of this bridge.
Yeah.
Did anybody happen to go up to the bridge and look over the edge of the bridge?
Yes.
No, I
Okay,
did
so
not.
did every?
Rose.
Rose,
What
I'm
the
so
fuck? How did I
sorry.
supposed to know I could look over the edge of the bridge?
Rose, you
Well-
missed
well-
you missed a Marvel level Easter egg.
Oh,
All right, describe
that
the
doesn't
Easter egg, Tiago.
that doesn't inspire confidence in me. I've got to say.
There's a man in a blue suit with spiky hair sitting across someone costumed as a spirit medium. Who are these two? Who knows?
Wait, isn't
They're riding out on a little boat.
They're running
Rose
on a
And-
there
little boat.
too?
What? So
And,
what is if you do that? Does Miles just like jump in the water and start swimming, or what?
No, he's like, I don't want to talk to them at all. She's like, don't you want to wave hi? And he's like, absolutely not.
Fuck
Wait,
that.
I didn't even get that dialogue off.
Okay.
I just saw them. I didn't even know that I can interact with them. Fuck. Wait, are you telling me that Miles instinctively saw Phoenix and was like, I do really want to lock lips, but right now I gotta fucking
No,
solve
he
him.
said, I
must
don't want
resist.
to.
Yeah, it's because he's too busy finding the truth. Yeah, I saw him. I saw it and then went, oh, cool, and then walked away. I didn't think I could interact with them. Lesson learned, if I see Phoenix again, mash A.
Fascinating. No, I didn't even notice that was a point of interest. I was just like, I gotta keep going. I'm sick of all these people.
Mhm.
I
So,
tire of this place.
so you have like 3 different arguments on this one fucking bridge. You argue with Lauren, who's like, I killed my dad, and you go, no, I don't think you did. And then you argue with Lang, and the one that you're arguing with Lang is the one that fucked me up the most. I was stuck on this one fucking question for an hour. I asked Ben for help, I asked Des for help, I got a hint, and then I was like, oh, I can solve this out. But only because the question was misleading. You see, at this moment, Lauren did not know that, like, her father was a
Oh, this is when I was playing a whisper over the phone with Ben.
Yeah, it
Who
was.
could have just hopped on voice, but I was talking over my shoulder to him.
Listen,
And then you fucking texted him.
yeah, of course. So what
Naturally.
happened? So what happens is you're supposed to like prove a sentence to Lang, and Lang is like, "Oh, they're definitely related, and they planned this together. That's why they kidnapped Lance." And I thought that what you were supposed to prove is that they didn't know they were related, because Miles says, like, "Really, was it the two of them who planned this together as a family?" But the truth is that there's a third kidnapper. There's another co-conspirator. But it doesn't ask to prove that it was just the two of. Oh my god! I'm just like mad.
When we encountered this bit on stream, I did bring it up, and our good friend who often shows up in the rotating guest chair, Iro, he also thought that was a bit of a misleading cross-examination segment.
Mhm.
I got fucking.
We all
tricked.
kind of thought that was kind of a bit of a wild, a harder turn to Grok, for sure.
Rock.
I don't remember
Because,
this at
um,
all, so I must have just bumbled my way through it by accident.
No, Rose, you were just correct, and that's what matters.
I don't know. I probably not. I probably
Um.
just I bumped into the right answer in the dark, and we made it into the next segment somehow.
Yeah, you're supposed to present the 3 suits to be like, there's 3 of them because they stole 3 suits.
Right.
And after
So
arguing Lang, what's up?
Oh, I was just gonna continue. If you're describing the scene, I was also going
Yeah.
to do the same.
So like you argue with Lang, who's like, obviously they didn't know they're related, and there was a third co-conspirator, and guess who that is, motherfucker? It's Lance. And
Exactly.
you point at Lance, who's like,
Every time
secret-
somebody says Lance, my brain immediately goes, Lance from Pokemon.
Oh, the
So it's like
The champion? Nah, not
It's
him.
a battle.
He didn't
It's
do
a
it.
battle in my head.
Lance has been like the entire time being like, "Wow, Lauren, I can't believe you did that. Wow, I'll miss you when you go to jail." And like as
That
soon as
little
Miles
fuck.
pulling some real Dahlia shit, but not like as good. That's the problem. He's not cunning enough. Because then
No
like
one
as soon as you get
No one can ever come for the queen.
exactly, so you call him out and he goes, "What?" And then like you notice that he's still handcuffed, but like whenever you call him out on anything, his hands like jerk up and fly out through the handcuff, revealing that he's been free the entire time. I like that. That's
Good.
a nice little touch.
He also keeps hiding behind what's his name? Like he has like a lot of
Lang.
Yeah, he keeps hiding behind Lang. And so there's like a lot of like a little like animations of him like behind that Lang sprite. It's very
Yeah.
funny.
What's great is that it's not even necessarily a unique sprite for that. It's just that they've constructed these sprites so that they can be used solo, or if they layer them on top of each other in this way, then it looks like he's cowering behind him.
It's good design.
So it's just good layout of the sprites and that sort of thing. And if you haven't looked at this game, if you've just been listening to the podcast, essentially, camera has Miles on the left side, and then when it pans to the right side, instead of just having one sprite, it can have two sprites now. So you can have, say, Lang and Lance on the screen at the same time,
The information.
and it looks like Lance is kind of standing right behind Lang as a result.
Yeah. So Lance, it turns out that he and the other two plotted this whole thing because Lance has serious debt problems with Tender Lender. And instead of just asking for cash, which I'm pretty sure his dad would have just given, he decides to plot a kidnapping. Now, because of this, Miles Edgeworth thinks to himself, yeah, he probably did it. Probably. And you have to brain blast and reveal that the murder location was never the auditorium, but actually the haunted house where the initial drop off took place. And then you fucking Ernest buys the haunted mansion. He just buys it.
This I kind of liked because it was so ridiculous. It's a bit of a contrivance because I understand why this happens. So to fully explain my thought process here, the exact setup is you need to go to the haunted house to prove this thing. Lang says, "Okay, I'll give you approval to go investigate the haunted house, Edgeworth." And then Ernest comes up and goes, "Well, actually, here's the thing. I just bought the haunted house, and I'm not going to allow you to go investigate it."
You can't investigate it unless you have solid evidence that something happened there.
It's an actual house that he bought an actual deed to.
On the park, and yet he owns it. And so now, because he just happened to meet one of the Gatewater group executives or whatever while in the park and bought it from them. And so the reason for this, I assume, from a game design and story perspective, is that they want to have Kay be able to use her holograms to be the critical piece for Edgeworth to be able to pull this all together. They want to have Kay be part of the climax of the case, right?
Yeah.
So I understand why they do that, but it's just so very funny that the contrivance they have to do. Why couldn't you go back to the haunted house? Well, because Ernest bought the whole fucking thing and said, "No, you can't go in there." So now that's our way to get it, set it up so that Kay has to be the one to instead go, "Well, guess what? I can bring the haunted house to us."
I've got little buddies.
And so she does. And so she uses her little hologram, Lil Thief is what she calls it, her little hologram projector, and says, "I'm going to recreate the haunted house here and there." I don't know, should she buy that model off the Unity store or what? I'm not sure, but somehow she's got this haunted house model ready to go.
Really overpowered. This item is too strong for the limits of the pre-established universe of Ace Attorney.
We forget that this game takes place in the future. For all we know, we're gonna have that shit soon. I'm gonna have a little
Technology will revert backwards.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you flip over Little Thief on the back, it actually says Meta VR on the back.
Oh my god.
Boo.
It says Elon Musk Twitter VR. So this guy buys a house to prevent you from investigating because he's like, "Hey, listen, I just asked you to find my son. Now that you found my son, don't accuse him of murder." And then,
he's all in on defending his son now.
And you're like, "I will find the truth." because this game of musical mascot suits has gone on long enough. And like you find you have like an HD hologram of the haunted house. You recreate the scenes. There's left-handed and right-handed puzzles that you have to investigate. There's fucking invisible walls that aren't there because this is a trick mansion. And of course,
this is the part where I stopped trying to figure it out and started using a guide, because the second they went, oh, the right hand, the left hand, we're done here. It's over.
Yeah, my brain shuts off and I let Ben take care of that.
Yeah, it's not happening.
I figured it out once when I was younger and I'm done.
So you figure it out, and it turns out that the actual not canonical, but the Lance timeline is this. Lance plans a kidnapping with his butler and girlfriend, who Lance knows that they're both related, but has not revealed to either of them.
But Colin also knows, and he is going along with this because he can't reveal that he's related to his daughter yet. For some reason, I guess because he's worried that if he does, then he would get sent back to prison. So instead, he's just goes along with this kidnapping plot in order to hopefully protect his daughter and keep her out of too much trouble.
Yes. While
Lance is doing this whole elaborate scheme.
Edgeworth makes the drop off, and it is at this moment where like Colin, Oliver, whatever, betrays Lance, and Lance shoots him in self-defense. That's what like causes the like upward trajectory of the bullet, is because like Lance pushed down on the ground and he's on the floor or whatever. This breaks a mirror, which Miles Edgeworth hears, yada yada. So in this moment, Lance concocts this wild plan to make it look like that Oliver is alive in different timeline, at a different time, in order to establish an alibi. He dresses up as Oliver and hands Lauren a fake gun to shoot him at the auditorium, therefore making it look like that Lauren shot Oliver.
Right.
And then he's just like chilling. He's like, all right, I made it look like Lauren did it. I got the money, and I'm good to go. And I'm like, damn, dude, you fucking...
This is a really elaborate plan to come up with on the fly. Like, this is complicated. It
was also
hinges entirely on Miles Edgeworth being the person who makes the drop-off. I guess if it had been his own father, would he have hit him over the head?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing also is that in the intro, Miles hears the glass of the mirror shatter when this shooting happens, but he doesn't seem to hear the gun go off, which I feel like would probably be the louder of the two.
He said, and I quote, "There's a lot of spooky noises in the haunted mansion."
Right, we kind of just hand wave that part.
Miles.
It was
like
scary.
There's some kind of speaker just playing haunted mansion noises in the background. Woo!
The speakers of the haunted mansion,
bang, bang.
Yeah, exactly, playing the fucking scene from Home Alone where the guy shoots a bunch and take the change, you filthy animal.
Right. Edgeworth's like, well, I guess that's just what haunted houses sound like these days. I haven't been in one in a while.
Nothing is scarier than a gun.
It's an actual house.
So, like, you solve all this, different. Lance confesses. He probably could have gotten off on self-defense if he didn't plan the elaborate, like, cover-up.
Right.
Just on Forge. And Lauren, of course, is never heard from again because, I don't know, Edgeworth doesn't like women. Who cares?
Well, yeah, so your little bit at the end with her, she's like, oh, wow, this is so fucked up. And she's like, I can't believe that this guy was my father. And Edgeworth's like, you need to take comfort in the fact that the whole reason he went along with this whole plan is because he was worried about you and he cared about you. And that's why he's dead now as well.
Yeah,
so have a great life, Lauren.
Miles Edgeworth, notoriously good with fathers and father figures.
Notoriously good
and
with
comforting
women.
people in any way.
Yeah, and women and children, and basically he sucks at talking to everyone. Bless him.
You guys
he sure can find the truth.
You guys are walking outside, and fucking Gumshoe is like, wow, that's a neat little trick you got there. And she's like, oh yeah, you've seen Little Buddy before. And they're like, what? He's like, yeah, Gummy. And I was like, Gummy, that name sounds familiar. And it was like, you too, Miles, you know me from way back when. And we go into a flashback inside of a flashback. And that's where, so, goddamn it, we're flashing back more. What the fuck? How many cases are in this game? 5?
5 cases, yeah.
We forgot something. What? When everybody gets all arrested at the end, all the bad guys, and apparently also what's his name, the evil father who's probably the haunted house, and presumably handed 8-year-old Miles off to the man who murdered his father. He also gets arrested because apparently he's been involved in some international smuggling thing. That's why the Interpol agents are actually there.
Yep, Lang's like, guess what? It was my plan the whole time.
Woohoo! But the prosecutor who shows up to pick up Lance is none other than Sports Boy and
Jacques Sportsman
and his poor detective partner Buddy.
He doesn't. Buddy doesn't even get a Sprite.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
He gets like a talk Sprite.
No, not a talk Sprite, but he gets a little.
He walks around.
He walks around, Sprite. But he doesn't get to like have like a talking portrait.
Later we'll see his dead body.
Yeah.
And they show up and they're like, "We're in charge now." And Miles is
we're taking Ernest in.
Okay, whatever, I guess.
So it is at this point that the plot, the meta plot is becoming clear to me, which is there's another Borginian smuggling ring taking out more cocoons from fucking Virginia. Jack Sportsman's in on it. Ernest Amano's in on it. The Chamomile's in on it. Because there's no way Jack Sportsman's not part of the smuggling ring. There's no way he's not involved.
I mean, he fucking killed his poor buddy guy, whose name we don't even know because of how awful Jock Sportsman is.
I mean, his name is literal Buddy, is it not?
It's not
Jim.
Yes.
It's not Jim. Yeah. Okay, his name actually is Buddy? It's been a while.
His actual name is Buddy. Jacques calls him Jim because he doesn't give a shit about his actual name.
Because he's fucked up.
It's been a long week.
Oh, yeah. And then it is at this point where like Kay Faraday goes, it's flashback time, and Miles is like, yes, I agree. And they go into a flashback to figure out another case, I guess, where Kay is a child.
Let me progress in time. Please, for the love of God, let me go forward.
Now, here's the thing. It's very funny that we are, case 3 into this game, and now you're seeing all the characters that are on the front of the box. B, yes, case 4 is also in the past, but boy, I am really excited for you all to see next case, because this one sticks out in my mind quite a bit, for good reasons.
Okay. Love to hear it.
So, I think y'all will hopefully enjoy what pops up in this one. And then case 5 is it's got a lot going on again. But yeah. So it's just, I don't know. I feel like I don't know how you resolve this, but it does feel like you needed one more pass at like arranging these cases, because it is weird to keep going back in time for every case.
I guess we're doing like a little memento thing or whatever, but
right, it's not even like bad. I don't even know if I'd go so to say like phrase it as strongly as saying that this is bad, but it's weird. It's weird to have each of these cases keep going back in time in a weird way, and nothing seems to be progressing the story. It makes you feel like you're spinning your wheels a little bit.
Yeah, it's strange because it means that like the culmination of all this is going to be set like the day after Jock Sportsman was arrested, which was the first case.
Right.
I'm honestly just going to have to see how it all wraps up at the end. That's the only way I can make a judgment about how I feel about this. But this case alone, in like a vacuum, I love this case. It's got so many twists and turns, and there's a lot of characters that I like seeing up again. And they don't take too much screen time up. Emma Skye was there.
It is a parade, really, of these NPCs, you know? It's like, oh, here's Emma, here's, Wendy, here's whoever, here they go, here, say hi, say bye.
And I think that's how a cameo should be, which is where they say hi and bye. Like a good one. I like the actual case itself. I thought it was very interesting. I hated that one part that I was stuck on, but that's because I was fucking tricked by Lang, who I guess is still my antagonist. He still hates prosecutors. Chances are Manfred von Karma killed his old family or whatever. I don't know.
Just join the fucking club.
It's really weird that also, we didn't really talk about it, but this is a Gatewater park.
Yeah.
But the fucking Gatewater Hotel is like, which came first? What is there a gate? Was it Gatewater Park and then the Gatewater Hotel?
And why is the park sponsored by the cops?
No,
right.
So,
and also, it's a cop park.
So that one case featuring Red White put Gatewater on the map, which transformed it from like a 3-star hotel to a mega conglomerate in the span of
Okay, this is your theory?
No, I'm pretty sure this is what happens in timeline. So here's my thing.
Oh, okay. Maybe I missed this then.
Here's my thing. Every time as Phoenix Wright, whenever I could interact with the window inside the office, I would. Mm-hmm. And every time I did, Phoenix Wright would say something like, I hear they're building another hotel across the street. I hear they're building a park across the town. I hear they're building blank, blank, and blank. And like,
oh, wow. Okay.
So like, in canon, like what's been happening the entire time is that Gatewater, because of the Red White case from Game 1, fucking blew up. And
they've been leveraging this the whole time.
And like, now they have a fucking theme park. And
it's cop themed, of course.
It's cop themed.
Yeah,
because
cop park.
I don't know why. Also, on stage, if you recreate the stage, if you look at the logo on the stage, it's for the Gaviners.
Yeah, the Gaviners show up here too.
I did notice that.
They played at fucking Gatewater, bro.
Interested to see what Miles Edgeworth thinks of them, although I don't think I ever will.
It reminds me
there are also signs that promote Troop Gramarye and Max Galactica are in here. So you can find those too.
When I was a young boy, I didn't mean to say it like that. When I was younger,
when you were a young boy,
my family took us to Six Flags once, and the band was playing here, and it was the band Hawk Nelson, the Christian like punk band. And,
okay,
wow.
Yeah.
And they told me specifically not to add strangers on MySpace because even though they have an icon, that doesn't mean it's their face.
Whoa!
You gotta add people who you trust. And then we listen to more Hawk Nelson. I'll post a track
Speaking
later.
of strangers that you can trust, one other thing I just thought of that we didn't talk about. What'd y'all think of the weird proto-badger who shows up and helps you out at one point?
I was 110%. I was like, it's the killer.
Wait,
here he is.
The killer.
The killer.
The killer.
The killer.
I forget. Was there a proto-badger that helps you out?
Yeah, he just shows up and he never takes his head off and he walks around.
He comes out of the trap door when you and Kay are investigating, and Miles immediately starts scolding him for popping out of the trapdoor and scaring him. Like, instantaneously, Miles is like, what are you doing? How dare you be popping out of trapdoors?
Yeah. He was the employee who was, while Miles went back to investigate the room he was kidnapped in, the employee that showed up and, like, told him that, like, yeah, one of these suits is trashed, yada yada. That guy was the spirit of justice himself.
The killer.
Well,
from the movie.
Here's the thing. It is. I don't know if you caught it or not, but at one point, when he's talking to you, I believe I forget exactly what the sentence is, but he says "absolutely," just like the bellboy from the Gatewater Hotel.
I didn't like that guy either.
So it is implied anyway that that's the bellboy.
That's right.
In that suit.
That tracks. Yeah. Okay.
That guy could be the killer.
He could be absolutely the killer.
I mean, he was the guy who fucking leveraged all this stuff, you know? I'm gonna send you guys a video later. It's Hawk Nelson at Six Flags.
Also, I realize that we keep saying the killer and people might not know what we're talking about, but
no, don't reveal it. It's better this way.
No, we should tell them.
No.
Just Google Wendy Williams the Killer
Snitch.
video and a compilation or whatever. That'll give you the video, and it's just
explain what we think is the funniest shit on earth. Now you'll know.
Yeah. Okay, I think that might do it for us this week. For
chaotic episode.
The kidnapped turnabout. So yeah, you can follow the show on Twitter at Ace Attorney Pod to stay up to date on the latest episodes, as well as the YouTube uploads of Dessy and I playing through the game. You can follow me on Twitter at Yotseben and on co-host also at Yotseben. Dessy, where can people find you?
At Yes This Is Des on Twitter, and I guess at Dessy on co-host, but I'm not. I'm there, but I'm not there.
Oh yeah,
We'll see how much longer we're on Twitter. You know how it is with Twitter nowadays. Yeah. We'll see how things go, how things shake out. Tiago, where can people find you?
People can find me at Tiago S. Dutra. I'm not tweeting anything because I'm working right now. I got a job, in case you're following the Tiago timeline. And also, I'm really excited for Pokemon to come out. I really want the new Pokemon game. I'm thinking about raids. Yeah, that's me.
And Rose.
You can find my art at Traumarts on Twitter, where you can please buy the art. You can also find me at Rose Nonsense on Twitter and co-host, where I will be myself, regrettably.
Right before we say goodbye, though, because there's two things that I want to mention. One, we haven't talked about this in a while, but we do sell t-shirts. We
It's true.
We sell t-shirts. The link is at our Twitter. Is that correct?
Yes, and it is also in the description of every podcast episode.
Hell yeah!
So if you click the link down below, you can check out all of our shirts on Threadless. And if you find any of them funny or endearing, you're welcome to get one.
Sure.
Whenever the sales go on Threadless, I turn them on instantly. So feel free to wait for a sale and get a discount then. Whatever money that comes in through that just goes directly back into paying for podcast hosting. So,
yay!
You know.
Also, the one other thing I wanted to mention is that it's been a little bit since we recorded, since we got busy with life and all. But there was a fan who made like a video of us, and I'm like, oh my god.
It was really good.
If you check our Twitter account, you're able to see everything that we retweet and post, including, I believe that was Agu on Twitter who made that video. So that was, thank you very much. That was very cute. We really all were tickled pink by that.
It made our day. It really, really did.
You can put a big old smile on my face. Thank you, Agumon, without the Mon. I appreciate you.
Jesus.
Agumon, Agu Monster, please. Agu Monster was my father.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. We hope that you will rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Those reviews really do make a difference. Next episode, we will be playing the fourth case of Investigations, Turnabout Reminiscence. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I forgot it was a really generic name for the next case.